nervous. That's the one. Okay, last time all I did was go to YouTube, not Facebook.
Yep, it's on YouTube right now.
Okay, let's
Okay,
see if
last
it
time
goes
all I
on
did was go
Facebook too.
to
Oh, I gotta turn myself
YouTube,
off on YouTube.
not Facebook.
There we go.
Oh my gosh, I lost you.
This is so funny. Okay, let's see. Is it on there? Nope, I don't see. Oh, wait, it wouldn't be there. Oh, someone liked my video. Thanks. I'm on. Hooray. All right. Aloha.
Aloha.
Hooray. Welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian beaches on the beautiful Big Island of Hawaii. And I'm here with my lovely panelist, Lori Tibitot. Yay.
Yay. I wanted to say aloha because after you do on your podcast, the live one in Wawa, wherever, you say aloha and they all go aloha in unison.
Isn't it so fun? That just like automatically started happening.
Yeah, it's cool.
That was really awesome. They play with me a lot.
It's so good. Do you get tired of, do you feel like you're a broken record sometimes?
Nope.
No. Because yesterday when I did my live one,
Yeah.
I felt like everything that I said, I already said last year at this time. Same stuff. As it was coming out, it was like, okay, so there was the judger going on in there, I guess, saying.
Well, it's always the same and it's always different. It's always landing different for you.
Yeah.
You know, the words that you're saying, they're not even true. You're teaching your own mind when you're saying those words.
Right.
You know, there's a sense that you know, there you might be getting a sense that what you're saying, it doesn't have any meaning to it because you already said it before. But the meaning and the message is beneath the words, giving you it's giving you I guess you could say a relief, a sense of relief in knowing that what you are talking about is true.
Yeah.
So it's just that self-doubt, that doubtful feeling that's just like on a record and going round and round, but it doesn't really say anything about you, and you are entitled to a miracle right now when you sense that. When you have a sense like that, it's like that's just a pattern that's coming up, and it's not personal and has nothing to do with you. And you can use that feeling, you can use that kind of an upset feeling to get to the excitement that's beneath it and receive the relief, accept the relief that's automatically being given to you anyways.
Okay.
Well, so what do you have to say about that? How does that land for you?
It really didn't.
Okay.
It did not land.
That's okay.
Because I'm only talking to myself.
Yeah.
There's no one out there because I can see. Okay. I can see that there's some there's a mind in there because as it's coming out, there's a thought behind there saying, this is the same thing you always said last year. There's nothing different here.
Mhm.
Judging,
Yeah.
totally judging. So that's all mine. But I don't know what's coming out. It's coming out, and I'm not in control over what's coming out, or the thoughts that are judging it.
So why do you suppose you're giving that kind of thought any credence, though?
That's a very good question. Maybe because that's what's used to being heard. That's a pattern of self-judgment.
And then it's you gotta think that you know something too. You gotta think that you know something
Right.
in that moment.
Yeah.
You're not asking. See, if you're asking, love is automatically there for you. But if you're not asking, love isn't pushy.
If I'm not asking.
Yeah, you have to be ready to receive it. You have to be ready to receive the love and not be holding blocks against it. That's all it is. It's just like removing the different blocks against love. So this thought that says something like that to you is just it's to entice you. You could say it's like a hook to get you to habitually block against love, not allow yourself to receive it. That's what's happening when you take that thought as if it's true, as if it has any meaning at all. You see, it has no meaning without you making it meaningful.
Right. When you started talking, when we first started this, do you think that by doing wisdom dialogues, okay, so you're teaching your mind.
Yes, exactly.
And so it's forcing.
I think I'm so grateful to you guys for coming on with me, especially you. You're here all the time.
And well, it goes both ways.
Oh,
it goes both ways. The gratitude.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
It is. And then I read today, well, actually, did you have those thoughts too?
Well, I definitely had that occur to me. It's not super prevalent because it just wasn't interesting to me.
Yeah.
I don't recall anyways, right now, a time where those kinds of thoughts were super prevalent to me because I've always really had a kick-ass time with saying this stuff.
It's
been really fun.
I do too. I'm all fired up. It's a passion of mine, but in the same token, there's that mind saying, you don't know anything. What are you doing? What are you teaching? You're going to say something wrong. All of that.
Yes. And you hear the voice and everything. And
yes.
That's not, that's like, it's kind of like it's something that's being offered to you that you can take on if you want, or you can just let it pass. And that's why I say get the feeling, because that's what makes it easier to just let it pass.
Right.
See, and then it has no bearing for you. It has no weight for you. Right. So then it's a thought that's not even, you could say, attracted to you, because the way it's circulating the mind, sort of. It's like it's attracted. It becomes less attracted to you, because you're not resonating at that kind of vibration where you're going to feed that energy. It's like that's how you become a different person. A person is really a structure of thought. You become an entirely different person through seeing through these patterns, because all of a sudden you're not that person anymore who's affected by that thought.
Right.
It's just so meaningless.
Because you can feel you feel it, and it doesn't feel good.
Oh, yes,
Mm.
exactly.
That's your alarm.
Yeah. So to resist feeling that sensation,
Mm.
the habit is to project thoughts, to project more thoughts, which not only makes the feeling like kind of prolonged, like you can get some relief from it by projecting it, but it's always like always at some level bothering you.
Right. It doesn't completely go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the same as when you get the feeling, you allow the feeling, because the feeling the feeling is what it is, kind of like what you're making of it right now. So it's like, I must be mistaken, I must have got it wrong if I'm not in complete joy or bliss or feeling wonderful, even if there's a sad or upset person in front of me.
Mm.
I can acknowledge the sadness in me. I know it comes from me, any sadness that I see in a person. I can acknowledge the sadness in me because that's where it's projected from. That's where their sadness is projected from. But I'm not in sadness, it's in me. I'm joy, though.
Mm.
See? So even in witnessing the sadness and the upset or whatever, I'm still in joy.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Well, that's how it is for everyone. But they don't realize they're only in joy. They think it's bad to be only in joy, like they are meant to suffer their feelings. The feelings still arise, it's just that you don't suffer them.
Right. Yeah. Well, I posted a thing this week about a father with a little boy or girl who was just a little one, I don't know, a year and a half old or something. And it was having a complete tantrum. And he held the space for the baby, just stayed on the floor, just making sure he didn't hurt himself. And it was almost a 3-minute long video. And at the end, when the kid was done with the screaming and the all of it, he just fell on his father and just cried, just a consoling cry, and they hugged. And it was, can you imagine if we were all treated that way? We wouldn't have, because all of that crap that's in that kid is in all of us. And
Yeah.
we're afraid to feel it because it
Yeah.
wasn't safe to feel it.
It's bothering people.
Right. Exactly. Because it triggered their scared, hurt, angry little person inside.
Yeah.
So don't cry or I'll give you something to cry about, is what my mom used to say.
Exactly. Well, that's how it is with my boy Braun. One of my favorite stories I like to tell is about how he went through the Las Vegas airport, where he just started screaming at the top of his lungs, and he was like, not super small, like 10 years old, and and saying, "Fuck this airport." Like super intense like that, and it just like felt so good to just like let him have it.
Yeah.
Let him have that. It was like so like, oh yeah, that's perfect.
Oh.
And just, and it was fun. People would give us looks.
I'm sure.
They wouldn't be mad at, they wouldn't I wouldn't see him mad. I didn't get any kind of feedback like you should control your child. I didn't get any of that at all in the whole airport. But there were looks like, is that kid okay? Because it sounds like someone's hurting him. And then they look at me and then they just realize everything's okay and they just keep on going.
Because if I did that, if I had let that happen, I'm probably judgment, because I've been looking for judgment to come my way, because I would have wanted to shut them up. Same way my mother did, because what would they think of me as a mother? All of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just smiled at the people that looked, and people were relieved. They were relieved that he wasn't being hurt.
Yeah.
They probably thought for a second they had to save a kid or something. Oh, thank goodness, he's just throwing a fit. But then at the end of it, and we were on the plane, he screamed all the way until we got up and like into the actual plane. Then he just like felt some calmness come over him, and then we sat down and he looked at me and he had little tears in his eyes, and he just goes, "Hi," like I'm back.
I'm back, right? Right, because that wasn't who he was.
It was so sweet.
That is sweet. Oh.
Yeah.
So why did you say yay underneath my video from yesterday?
I was so happy to see you on Facebook. It was so good. I saw you right at the beginning, and then I went to a harp lesson.
Oh, nice. New harp?
Not yet. It's just, well, it's the same one. It's just that little purple one.
Oh,
It is-
so your big one is not done yet. No. Okay.
I love that little purple one. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Had great times with it already.
Yeah. And it's because the other ones in the shop, you're able to really get some good time with it.
Oh yeah, I hadn't pulled it out in like a year and a half, and I was like, this is a neat little harp.
Yeah.
So me and my harp teacher are going to be cruising around. We'll probably be around Lower Puna and stuff, playing our harps together, playing the harp naked. Definitely.
Oh,
Yeah, down at Gehenna.
no kidding.
Yeah, so
It'll be fun. I saw on your Instagram thing, it says, the game is done when you decide it's done.
yeah, isn't that fun?
Okay, so I really sat with this.
Dominion, like you have dominion.
I have.
You decide. Okay. Oh, I muted Gail. Gail, you're muted. You can come back on when you want. Oh, there she is.
Hi, Gail.
Hey. Yeah. I have dominion over them. Hey. Aloha, ladies.
Hi, Gail.
One moment. Hey, come here.
Okay. Gail, let me know when you want to be unmuted again. What were we talking about, Lori?
We were talking about we have dominion over everything.
Yeah.
And
Well,
when I decide, so it's not the I that I think that I think I am that's going to make the decision.
you don't have to concern yourself with that. You are the decision maker as far as that goes. you were the only real decision maker.
And that is not this body and mind.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. You don't even have to be thinking about that.
No.
Okay, just go, okay, I am the decision maker. I decide whether that thought is meaningful, period.
Because it feels like the game could be, oh, there it goes. There it was again. It feels like it could be over. And
you love it.
I love it. I love it.
And you love it. You keep going with it because you want to uphold that sense of self. The sense of self goes when you don't have, when you're not giving your thoughts meaning. And it's that, and to the ego, that sounds like a sacrifice. To give up, to withhold reality from that thought. Don't give reality to it. Don't make it real.
Yeah. And there's no control over whether it's made real or not made real.
Oh, there's no control over it. It's the only thing you have a choice in. That's what gives you dominion over the world.
Mm.
The only thing you have a choice about. Just acknowledge that you have a choice, but take responsibility for it in the way, like, not to make yourself guilty when you don't choose love,
Right.
put it
Right.
succinctly. Not to make yourself guilty for it, but just to acknowledge it, that you are making that choice. And that's the biggest thing for people. They don't want to acknowledge that they're making that choice. The choice between love and fear. That's the biggest thing. And once you realize that you do make that choice, it's easy, because then you're just watching yourself make the choice however you make it, and you're accepting of yourself however you're making that choice. It's like, if you choose fear, there's forgiveness. And it's the kind of forgiveness, it's true forgiveness, as in, it didn't happen, it's all the dream, it doesn't have real effects.
Hence, it's okay.
Yes, of course it's okay, but just acknowledge that you are making that choice, and it's innocent when if you, let's say, had learned enough at that moment to choose love, you would have.
Mm.
It wasn't there for you, but it will be, and it will be for sure. It will be faster and easier if you pay attention, to what you're feeling, and pay attention to when you're making the thoughts meaningful that are associated with that feeling.
Mm.
See?
And with the person.
Yes, that's right. It's a body sense. That's why I say it's a body sense, and the body isn't real. It's just a body sense. That thought that, oh my God, you've been saying this for years. It's the same thing. You don't have anything new. But I mean, the thought has occurred to me, that I just say the same thing, and to me that's funny.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the recording from yesterday, from Wisdom Dialogues in Wawa, which, by the way, is on all the podcasts.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the podcast. If you listen to that one, you'll see that I'm like asking the people, why do you come here? Why do we all keep coming here? Why do I keep coming here? Why do we come here to Wawa?
I
And
would say because I feel the truth in it. And it's a relief. It's a relief.
it's a relief, yes. So when you're sharing the words and you're not letting it be a relief, you can only share up to that amount. Like, you can only share what it is that you have received for yourself.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
You're not teaching anything but what you are allowing for yourself. So as you're talking with people, think of it as sharing with people. So in allowing the relief for yourself, that's what you're sharing. That's what you have to share. That's your gift, not the spiritual concepts.
Right.
See?
Okay.
Get relief for them. That's why I say I think of my friends. Get relief for them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it feels. That's where the passion comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Right.
it just bubbles right out. No plan, no nothing. I have no idea what's going to come out.
Yes, exactly. Yay. Elka said, does it sound like Lori's voice? Yeah, that's the thing. It sounds like your voice. What's Gail doing here? I'm going to pin her thing.
Is doing God's will. Ah.
Hey, how are the dogs? Let's try her. How are the dogs?
Oh, sleeping once again.
I thought of them as Braun in the airport.
Oh, yeah. They're getting the space through their barky barks.
An opportunity for me to say nothing's wrong.
Exactly.
Yes, that's it. That's it. This is occurring. It kind of feels like, oh, let's see how I can love here in this perception. And let's see how love is extended. Let's see what happens. It's fun.
Because we have no idea.
What?
We have no idea what's going to happen.
It's just really fun. Like when you get a sense like, oh my God, why is this happening now? Like, maybe you're on Wisdom Dialogues and there's dogs, or maybe you're on Wisdom Dialogues and your son's coming up trying to close the computer case.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, why is this happening to me now? Oh, that feeling, that is for healing, and it's amazing. It's an amazing gift.
So that's the victim mode. And to feel that is like to put attention on it.
Yep.
Like just focusing all attention on it.
Just letting it yourself know how you feel. Letting yourself know how you feel, and noticing the thought that's associated with that feeling.
Yeah.
It's like super simple. And then you don't have to give that, oh, thank goodness that's not true. There's nothing to that thought. It doesn't have any power.
Right.
Elka said the police at the door and the dog through the fence. You were so smooth.
Right?
I love it. It's my joy. That's the thing. I mean, expressing how I feel is my joy. Yeah, it was joyful in it. That's how I like to be. And any thought that comes along with you guys hear me okay? Yeah. Any thought that comes along with a feeling that's less than joyful, then I don't have to give any meaning to that. So that's super fun.
Any thought that's less than joyful don't have to give meaning. Wow, that's powerful.
It is. It's the ultimate power, and that's love, because you're basically allowing yourself to be loved despite this ridiculous thing that's occurring to you, because it's ridiculous because it doesn't have anything without you giving it any meaning. You have to give weight to it, and giving weight to it, you're basically putting a burden on yourself. You're putting a burden on your own heart. See?
Yeah, I can feel that. Your audio did change.
Is it rain?
Something's
It's
changed.
pouring right now.
Yeah.
Not just raining. It is so pouring.
But why is that muffling you?
Because it's really loud.
Loud.
Can't hear the rain at all.
You can't? Okay, so it must be canceling out the rain, because where I'm sitting, that's why I know. That's why I'm getting closer to the microphone. It's freaking loud. I can barely hear you.
Oh, well, now that you linked,
What?
Yay. It's quieting now. Sometimes it's like a torrential downpour where it's just like, so you could probably hear me better now, right?
yeah.
Okay. And that doesn't happen like constant. I haven't seen that happen constant. So it usually is just a couple seconds and it passes.
That's
Yeah.
why everything's so lush behind you.
Yeah.
I am not a lush, Lori. God, I find that offensive. I don't remember the last time I was offended. That's
Mm.
cool.
I do.
Oh, what did I? Which part?
I do.
When you
It
called the gig?
It was at least this was my perception, and it was awesome. It was at the Oyster Bar. Remember?
Oh! Busted. You mean the lady asking me for the fucking salt and pepper? That moment?
She was jabbing you or something.
Like, excuse me, salt and pepper? I'm like, I'm her servant. I guess I was offended to be her servant. Hope would have done one of those, oh, here you go. Enjoy.
No, it's great when it arises in my perception too, because like that is also like we're sharing that kind of experience. We're sharing that experience in that moment because it's also projected from my body's energy field. That whole thing, the lady and you and everything. So, you know, it's like all for me. You guys are doing it all for me, you know, and it's and there's just compassion for that. Like I don't make errors real in that, you know. It's just an opportunity for forgiveness because it's mine. Because it's my projection, the whole thing. Isn't that fun? It
I
makes
ought to have thanked her on the way out.
What's that?
I ought to have thanked her on the way out.
You
That
did it.
really would have been the truth of the matter, you know, if I really took it for what it was. I'm noticing a desire to hang on to a juicier way of doing things, which juice meaning there's some juice in it, like, there's
Yeah.
that a hanging on to that for some occasions.
Exactly. Because it's like that is definitely the way it feels, like the body sense of reaction that you get to that, you know, that you get for that feels like it's really real and feels like it's really true and feels like it really happened to you.
And justified.
You're justified because you feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And you are justified as an ego. It's just that there isn't any ego and there isn't anything like that even happening. You know, it's a projection. It's for learning. It's for undoing the thought of separation. You could say it's for performing a miracle. Basically, you know, like you can have a miracle in every moment from moment to moment. It's just forgiveness. You know, it's just in recognizing that none of it is happening, and I choose right now how that's going to be to me, what kind of meaning it's going to have.
Coming from love or fear.
Yeah.
So when I get engaged with Peter, I'm fearful when he says something and I react. That's fear.
Yeah, you're feeling fear, and that's really great. One of my friends was asking me, "Can you guys hear me? Okay, right, here it comes. Okay." One of my friends was asking me because she's going to the mainland. She goes, "How, you know, I need some things, you know, essential oils, whatever. I feel so fearful about going to the mainland." I didn't ask her what she was fearful about. I got the gist that it may be disease because she's looking for essential oils to protect her from something. Doesn't matter what it is. It really doesn't matter. Fear is just one of those feelings that comes up, like afraid for your life, afraid for something bad is going to happen, nervousness, anxiousness, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
That's just something that has been attractive to you. And so that's why it comes up really strong like that for you. So it's just a feeling. It's the same kind of thing. It's just a feeling. You can just get that feeling of fear. And what I mean by that is allow it. Allow it. You're not allowing it if you make the thoughts that make the fear true, because you're using those thoughts to justify the fear. Like if there's a thought, like maybe you read in the news about the coronavirus or something like that, and there's a thought of something going around, and that is not a true thing. That's not a true thing. Since it's projected from your mind, there's nothing outside of you that can do anything to you. It's not like that. It's not really like that. So in just like addressing the feeling of it, everything will take care of itself. Everything will take care of itself. But in feeling fear and justifying your fear, it's kind of like writing your story so that it's more fearful. That's all.
Addressing the feeling looks like how?
Well, you could say just in allowing it to be what the feeling is. Yeah, you're really just, it's like an embrace of it. It's like an opening to it. I love it when I get a guilty feeling. Let's say when I was at your house, I got a super guilty feeling that night. It was like a deep guilty feeling. And it was so funny because it would seem like it was over the stupidest thing. But, it didn't matter. I was able to use the feeling of it. I was able to use that feeling of guilt to really like explore that, like get curious about that, that feeling. Instead of trying to make the reason out to be, oh, you shouldn't be feeling guilt. That's one of them. You shouldn't be feeling guilt. No, it's not like that. It's just that the thought that you're believing that's making guilt manifest is an error. It is an error. So, and there's errors in our mind. There's errors in our mind, and the errors in our mind are what allow us to uphold the world, to uphold the illusion of this world. So it's all just looking at these errors in the mind, and when they're seen, they basically disintegrate, because the seeing of them, it's kind of like you could say it's kind of like the sun. I like to say like the sun burning mist. It's like you see it and it's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit less meaningful to you, and then you see it again and it becomes even less meaningful to you. But you got to be willing to look. And basically willing to look is the same as, like I said earlier, willing to receive the love that's being given to you, because that's really all it is. You're keeping it in the dark, it stays in the dark. It doesn't see the light of day, and so basically it's like it's in a cave all misty. The sun doesn't get to it. You just expose it to the light. So
That light is love, and
yeah.
the ego, the person, doesn't feel worthy of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the block is.
Yes, the person doesn't feel worthy of it. That's right. But
So
you're not the person. You're the decision maker.
right.
That person isn't the decision maker. The person is the apparent decision maker in the world, but it doesn't make decisions in the world either, because it is only apparent.
Right. It comes along with the world.
Yes. But you have no choice in the decisions you're apparently making in the world.
Right. Because it's just happening.
You do decide whether any thought has any value to you. And you could be so kind to yourself. If it doesn't feel like loving kindness, you do not have to do anything with it. You don't have to play with it. You can, and that's why you let yourself get the feeling of it, because it's kind of like a hot stove. You're not going to keep on putting your hand on the hot stove if it's getting, it's getting burned every time. But when you don't know it's getting burned, or you don't know you have a choice in it, that you can pull your hand away. See, you don't have to do that. You don't have to go through that. It's easy. And so then the feelings, you can become very curious about the feelings. You can let them come and be really curious about them and want, like, in a playful way, like, I want to know about this feeling. Oh, I'm glad this feeling is here. I want to know about this feeling. And like, let yourself get that feeling, so that you see from that you don't need that thought. That the thought isn't anything you need playing in your energy field. See, you decide. Okay, I have another person with a hand up. Irina, my beautiful Irina.
Hi, can
Um,
you hear me?
I
Yes.
can hear you. Would you like to come on camera as well?
Oh, I would love that.
Let's do it.
Yay.
I put you in a special spot for that. Panelist. There's a doorbell. It's so cute.
Aw.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Courtney. Hi, Gail.
Aloha.
Nice to finally meet you face to face.
I know, it's wild.
So excited. Well, I wanted to share my my story, I guess, an episode of my story. So I thought it could be fun. But so for the past 2 weeks, I've been getting this uneasy feeling that has to do like was my work, and like I would recognize that it's there, but then I would kind of push it away, like not willing to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then like every morning I would wake up, and then I get to my computer and start working, and I would just like feel this feeling I'm not good enough, like I'm unworthy and stuff. And I do coaching, so I'm like, I'm not a good coach, and that's, you know, it's been kind of coming up, but I didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Then like 2 weeks later, which is like a couple of days ago, I get this terrible review because some of my, you know, customers, they do a review, right? And the review that comes in, like, it was so painful to read, because like all of that on there, I'm like, that's not true. None of it is true, you know? So, but not to get into details, like I was swimming in that for like a day. I was extremely upset, and like the victim feelings and stuff coming up, and, you know, just like confirming that I'm unworthy and stuff. And then, you know, and I'm like, okay, if I'm feeling this way, that must not be true. But then I don't feel that it's not true. I'm like sucked into it. And then, after the email and the whole day of suffering, like I was suffering because I was so unhappy, and that's all that was on my mind. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
But then at night we have like this thread of all of the other coaches that work with me, where we like share things, right? And then this girl shares the review that she got, and it's just so amazing. And I'm like, that's like salt on my wound, right? And then I still don't see it, right? I still don't see it. I'm still upset, and I just like find myself on the floor crying. And then all of the other people are starting texting too with their beautiful reviews. And then the like my boss is like, yes, these are great. That's what we want to hear. And then in that moment, like it like clicked for me, and I'm like, this shit can't be real. Like it can't be real. I'm like, I set this up for myself. So then I start laughing, and I just couldn't stop for like 5 minutes. And I just like saw through it, just like you say, you know, the miracle happened in that moment. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I felt so much relief. And it's funny because now like this week, like everything's so easy and everything's so flowing, and I'm like feeling like necessarily not like I'm good enough, but just like it's irrelevant.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
it was just like such a like painful but then beautiful experience. I loved it. I loved it.
Yay! So you're getting so fun to have these feelings.
Yeah, it's so fun because it was like, oh my gosh, this is comedy. Like this is like cool. This is like comedy. But and I just wanted to thank you because every morning I listen to like the videos and stuff, and it's like my coffee and morning that's like my practice, and it's just clicking like more and more. And every time I do have like a painful experience, like first I'm like, okay, this is something big and it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
And every time I feel like there's like this expansion
Yeah.
and it just like more freedom and stuff. And I wanted to ask you because sometimes like, and it's been coming to me, like I feel like I'm between two different dimensions and like there's no other way that I could put it.
Okay.
But it's like I'm like shifting from one to another, and I know exactly which one I am in because
Yay.
one feels so good, easy, and just like freedom, no worries, nothing. It's just like complete peace. And another one, when I shift into that one, is just like so many thoughts and it's like so overwhelming, and it's kind of fun to like travel between one and another. In your experience, how do you feel?
Well, I love it, whatever it is that occurs to me. And I do have, instances where, wow, this seems like it's real. And I'm so happy about that. You know, that's what it's for. That's why you get the sense of it. And it gets to the point where, you get that sense of it and really fast that it's not real.
Yeah, yeah. And I kind of see this like pattern in everything because it's like it's the same thing. Everything is the same thing. To like give an example, like I adopted a dog in December and he was potty trained, but not in my house apparently. So I've been like struggling, like take him out like every hour to make sure he like doesn't pee and stuff and like that. And and it was bothering me, like, what's wrong with this dog? Like, how do I fix them? How do I fix this? Right. And then it's again like not addressing it really on the feeling level. So it kind of keeps going. So not only he like wouldn't stop peeing, he would pee more, right?
Okay.
And then last week, my cat started peeing everywhere too.
Oh my goodness.
So that's when I'm like, oh, okay. So it's time to start addressing it like in my energy field because it's just gonna keep getting worse and worse. And now like today I haven't noticed anything. It's like not in my awareness. It's kind of like, I don't know. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah, you just keep on addressing it in the energy field, and then all the things they work out.
Yeah, exactly. And I see it over and over again. It's so beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing all that.
Oh, I'm stoked about it. I'm so happy to see people picking up on it too. So especially like, wow, that was like really fast and it seemed really fast and easy for you.
It seems with some things,
Yeah.
But I also wanted to ask you something because I left a review on Amazon about the book, but when I went to check it, it said something like it's suppressed because of the sensitivity level or something like that. And I'm not sure if you ladies could like look at that and maybe see if you see it, because I was gonna ask you because I'm like, I'm not sure if it's showing.
It took me a couple of weeks before it finally would. I can't tell you how many times I redid it. I
Okay.
don't
So wait a second. Notice how the voice, the cadence and the voice and all that. So that's what I mean. Just like notice that stuff. See?
See, it was automatic right there. It was automatic just to.
Exactly. So that's all it's for. That's what I mean. It's like you just notice it. So you just totally take note of that. And like if you're not on Wisdom Dialogues, you don't need to say anything about it or anything like that. Like to call it out what it is.
Because
But
nothing happened.
notice what it is. Yeah. When you just notice what it is, See, it's an energy that just kind of like takes over and starts talking.
Yes.
And and you can feel it. You could the tone of the voice,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that's actually giving you one of those opportunities right now for, basically to perform a miracle, and not even believing in that kind of thing, but taking the feeling as something that's asking for compassion. It's like offering compassion right now, accepting the compassion that's offered.
Yeah. So the feeling was frustration
Mm-hmm.
for having to do that over and over and over.
Yeah, and see how that voice, that thing, that's
Yeah.
a pattern thing. That's a pattern voice.
Yeah.
Pattern voice. It's like a not relaxed voice.
Right.
It's kind of like a victimized voice.
Right.
You could tell by the vibration of it that is a feeling that you don't want. So you can decide whether to make that thought meaningful, and the way you're taking it, it's like you could be saying the same words, but taking it way differently. You could tell by the tone change, the tone.
Oh my God, I had trouble on Facebook too. Isn't that hilarious?
Thank you for that. It's funny. It's funny anyways. Just complaining is funny anyways, because it's like all this whole thing is just like a magic trick, like that there even is a Facebook to fuck around with in the first place,
Oh, if Mark Zuckerberg heard you say that.
I'm fucking around on Facebook right now. It's funny. And then the ego, it takes over and it's like, God damn it, why are they making it so hard to work this thing?
Yeah, that's the way I was when I tried to go live yesterday. I was like, what? I used to be able to push a button and go live. Now,
See the opportunities?
so all of that right now,
Yeah.
feel the contraction. I can feel it all in here.
Good.
So
all you're doing is you're noticing the contrast to who you are, the contrast to joy. You're noticing that contrast. Like Irina put so well, it's kind of like there's two worlds. You've entered that world.
yeah,
of materiality, basically, of your body sense. That's the person is a body sense, basically. You've entered into that world, and then that's only because you're making that thought meaningful, though.
right.
See?
Making it mean something in the world.
Yeah, it's like it means something to you because you want to pursue it. You give it the credence that it has. You give it its value. See? That's why it's a comedy. All the things that occur to you, they're just for fun. They're just for playing with.
Because that was feeling a victim of Facebook.
Yeah. Are there you're talking about the reviews on Amazon, the book reviews on Amazon. By the way, thanks for leaving book reviews on Amazon. That is super helpful. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for writing that book. It's amazing. It's amazing. My daughter, I'm sure she's grateful to you too.
I know. I read some of the things you wrote. I'm like, oh my God, that is so rewarding. Like hearing a story like that, it feels so rewarding. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah. Her daughter, what did your daughter say? Something like she was really excited about how she can't remember the last time she's been punished, and she feels free.
Yeah, she's like, Mom, do you remember the last time you grounded me? Because I don't.
That's so cool.
And I was like, yeah, me neither. And she's like, I have so much freedom. I can just like roam around and be free.
So my thought, a thought just came
Yeah.
that said, my son grounds his daughter all the time.
That's perfect. So that's what's asking right there for your compassion. It's
Yeah.
kind of like it's so that's projected from your energy field. It's some sin being projected, let's say. Let's say it's a projection of sin, let's say. Okay? Like as in something's wrong. All right? And you offer forgiveness for it in that moment. You don't make consequences or anything like that. You just offer forgiveness for it because it is projected from an energy, a feeling that is being sensed in the body. It's a body sense. That's what's projecting your son who's doing that to your daughter. There's a feeling with it, okay?
Yes, there's a feeling of sadness for my granddaughter.
Right. So,
And it might be guilt too because I did that to him.
yeah,
I'm sure it's guilt too.
sure. Sure, it could be all kinds of feelings. It really doesn't matter. It's giving you an opportunity right there for healing, like basically to perform a miracle. And through that the miracle is basically you're 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 making you're using this feeling as a means for having an error in the mind corrected. That's what you're using it for. You're changing what it's for. You're changing the value of that the value of that feeling for you, the value of that feeling and that thought for you. You're changing it from what the ego uses it for.
Because it's
That's
not true. There isn't even a son or a granddaughter.
right, exactly. So so it changes it changes the whole thing to where now you're using it for addressing its cause. You're seeing it for what it is. Once you see it for what it is, and or even just being willing to see it as it is, even that is a miracle. That's why it's just natural to have miracles all the time, because of being willing to see it as it is, to see it as it really is, and not how you're making it out as if there's really a son and a kid out there. You make it out to be something like that, and you have no dominion over it. But when you make it, when you see it as it really is, as a feeling, and that feeling, you can decide, you can change the value of that feeling to something that kind of like alerts you to making a decision right now to recognize that what you're thinking has to be mistaken.
Mhm.
Whatever you think about yourself, it has to be mistaken. So you're asking for correction.
Because I don't want to feel the guilt or the pain of the granddaughter that's being projected out there as that happening. Wow. Wow.
So it wouldn't even occur to you unless that feeling.
Unless that feeling was there. Oh my God. Wow.
So it's like, you in welcoming them to home, basically, like in only being willing to see them in this frame of loveliness of who they are, of who they really are, then that's how you heal together.
Oh my
Not
God.
without them. You can't have the peace without offering it there first.
Right.
Here's Lori.
Well, yes. That's- wow.
Gail, that was fun.
Wow. 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 That brought tears.
Yay. I love it.
Me too. Thank you.
Yeah. And,
Thank
you're always mothering your son no matter what, and everyone is your child like that. Like it's kind of like you're the mother of all the things, right? It's all,
Oh, I get it. I get it.
all
Okay.
of it.
That comes where the dominion is over it all.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. You decide what to make of it.
Wow.
I suddenly pictured like octopus tentacles, like the Matrix being plugged into you, and all of these thoughts that are just like well-worn neural pathways, and they're just going down that tentacles got you until you can take that off and go, oh, that's just a thought. It's suctioning out my brain and all my clarity of thought and perception, and it just like unplugging these tentacles from
Mm,
my head.
I love that.
Here, say yes.
I like that idea. I got the image too.
I can now see Lori. She'll be plucking off octopus tentacles for the next week. You ain't the Holy Spirit. Out of here.
Right.
Oh God.
Yeah, then you can hear more, and you can be more receptive to the love that's being offered to you right now. All it is removing your own blocks to love. Okay. Thank you, Christine. Christine says this is such a great discussion.
Oh, hi, Christine.
We love you.
Wow, that was good.
Oh, Hope, you told me this when you were with me last weekend. Those who are perhaps projecting their judgment, like my mom about Cheez-Its,
Okay.
she's only kidding, were your words. So I've
Yeah.
been applying that. Oh, she's only kidding. It made it so much lighter.
And then she sent you Cheez-Its.
And she sent me 3 boxes, not just one. I was like, whoop, whoop.
I'll have to check those out. They must be good.
It's just
Oh.
crap, and I love my crap.
I love Cheez-It. I've loved them since I was young. And my kids love them too.
I'm drooling.
I,
But the
like, I just got the image of putting it on date with butter. Date butter Cheez-It.
Huh.
Look at Gail's face. That's a
I
good one.
don't know about that.
About that.
You guys don't like it? It sounds so good. It sounds sweet and salty and cheesy all at the same time.
I like saltines with butter on them. Ooh, that's good.
That's an old recipe.
Yeah. Like,
Laura, you is old.
yes. Well, 55, that's not really old. It's
I'm joking. I'm 52
perspective.
almost. I'm not old either.
All
I'm offended.
all perspective, right?
right, Christine is coming on.
No. The Chica's power. Wahine.
I unmuted you. Wait a minute. Unmute. Yes, I unmuted you on my
It
end.
still says muted.
I hear something. Someone's beeping.
Phoebe just texted me.
Oh, Phoebe's there. How cute.
I'm surprised Bob is not here.
Me too.
Can you hear me, Hope?
Bob's hind.
I can hear you, Christine. I can't see you. You want to go on camera?
Yeah, I don't care.
Girl? That's the kind of broad I want on camera. She doesn't care.
I'm using the computer audio. Camera's off. Oh, here we go. I've got a whole new view of everybody.
Hello. Oh, look, she's got curls.
I do. I had my hair done, and she always makes it look pretty
It's very pretty.
Love it.
until I get in the water, and then it'll go back to its
Yeah.
normal self. So Hope,
Yeah.
I'm in this. I'm in the rut.
You're in the rut. You're so.
Woo!
No, you're not. You're just playing a game. You're just kidding.
I'm in the weeds, as they say,
I'm in the weeds.
and I'm not having fun.
Oh. Well, you came to the right place if you want to start having fun.
I know. Boy, do I know that. Hey, I've got an alternative to guilty Cheez-Its. I'm just eating them when you guys are talking. They're cauliflower.
I have not seen those.
Aldi's.
Or I can have the Cheez-Its without the guilt.
I didn't know they tasted like Cheez-Its till I got it. So they just said cauliflower crackers, sea salt, non-GMO, all that happy stuff. And I said, oh, I'll try them. And I like them.
That's awesome. Thank you, Christine.
Yes. Oh, damn it. She's eating on camera. I want some now.
Christine doesn't give a shit. She does
I
not.
heard,
give a shit. She'll eat.
I heard that tone. Damn it.
Lori, thank you. Tentacle. Dang.
Good Holy Spirit. Get out of here.
Oh, how fun. Hey, Lori, are you still here? Are you still in Florida?
I am. Where are you?
I'm in North Fort Myers.
That's where I am.
I have an office in Cape Coral right off of 24th.
Southwest 24th?
Right? Yeah.
I'm on Orange Grove.
Oh, you're kidding. We're right
I am.
around the corner from each other.
You guys connect via
We
Facebook.
will. We will. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
I went to call you, but I don't have your phone number in my phone. So there we go.
Okay.
All right.
I'll-
So back to my dilemma, back to being in the weeds. So I'm having this reactive pattern, and it's really uncomfortable, and I'm really beating myself up after the reaction. And it's like I don't know how to stop it. And like I know you say just to watch it and bring up what it feels. So I do, but then there's the reaction of the other person that I want to take care of, and then I feel guilty about that. This is the same old stuff. Different day, same pattern. And I feel really frustrated with it in myself, and like I feel like I should know better. This sounds like Lori. I should know better.
Well, the being frustrated with it is the opportunity.
Mhm.
That is the opportunity. But see, you get the feeling of frustration, and then you think that the thought that's making the frustration real is true. But the frustration is just a habit. You're giving value to those thoughts that are associated with the feeling of frustration.
So I enjoy being frustrated.
Well, you keep on you keep on upholding it. You keep on making it real. So
Oh yeah, it's really, really, really intense. And it seems to be getting louder and happening more often. So I know that it's time to pop the bubble.
you're giving that to yourself because you know you can choose.
Right.
You know you
But
can
it's in that reaction. Someone was just talking about the connections in the brain, like the neural pathways. It's just so automatic.
You have a choice in that.
We have what?
You have a choice in that. It doesn't have any power over you. Being automatic doesn't give it any power.
Tell them it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah. Well, when it's loud like that, it's like it strikes fear in your heart. Because it seems like it's true. It's like it strikes fear in your heart. And you're not fully asking to receive it. You're not even a little bit asking to receive it, actually, because you're making the thought that upholds it as true. So you're making that thought as if it's meaningful, as if it has meaning, when it could just be like, that's nothing.
Right.
So what is it? So now I'm super curious about this feeling of frustration. This is rad.
This is the after. The initial is defense and needing to be right, and then after becomes the frustration. I guess it's guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all stems from guilt, from a guilty feeling.
Of course.
It all stems from that.
That we've separated ourselves when we never did.
Yes. So you notice that it stems from guilt in the first place. It doesn't matter what the feeling sensation is, frustration or anything like that. You're not really curious about that feeling because you're busy upholding that thought, making that thought that justifies the feeling as if it's true.
Yeah. So then what's the next step? So then what do I do?
Nothing.
I knew you were going to say that.
Accept what's already being given you. It's just love. You're as you're curious, as you become curious about the feeling, you're allowing all of the healing to happen, because in that curiosity and through that curiosity, you receive a release. You receive a release from the fear. The fearful thoughts become meaningless to you. Just in you're becoming more curious about the feeling. See?
So getting curious, laughing at it. I tried laughing at it. It was just too serious. It was like, it was not letting me laugh about it.
Well, you're acting like you know something. You're acting like you know something, in that. And you're demonstrating to your own mind that you do know this and this is really true.
Does it sound like you're talking to me from last summer?
And I've been out of this place, and then I'm like, how did I get back in the weeds so deeply? Like, how did how can you know it and be it and live it and feel it, and then like it's just gone again, and I can't remember anything.
Well, why
Booby trap.
it comes and goes? Like, why do you even care if it comes and goes? Because if it's arising right now, it's like, who really cares about that? There's no past or anything. So if it's arising right now and I have a choice right now, obviously I know I don't want to feel the way I'm feeling. So I must be mistaken. That's the miracle.
Okay.
I don't like how I'm feeling right now, so I must be mistaken. You're using that whole perception as a means to getting a correction in your mind, instead of using it as something for the ego. And through that opening, through that allowing, the healing and the release from fear happens. I mean, before you're even released from fear, you are able to perform miracles without even being released from fear, just because you know what this feeling is for. What is this really for? Like you're asking yourself, what is this really for? That's a miracle. Because you're taking the control over it and the usefulness, the ego's usefulness of it. You're taking that power back. See?
Do you need to know what it's for? Like, so I'm asking like what it's for. Do I need to have the answer to that?
You don't.
No, just that statement.
Stay in the question.
So it brings me back to sanity.
Yes. Stay in
Okay.
the question. Stay in the question. Stay in the question. What happens is you don't stay in the question. You become certain in your mind about illusions being true. You become certain about it, and then you feel like you're under the water, because now I'm so certain because I've been taking these things as true. It doesn't matter how far you've gone, how under the water you seem to be. Right now, you don't have to take that thing as having any meaning for you. And you can use the feeling to show you why you would choose
Suffering.
That's why suffering is good. That's what it's for.
Can I add something and you can correct me if I'm wrong?
How fun. Go ahead, Edina.
So what I notice, like no matter what, uncomfortable feeling it is, but it seems to me, or it appears to me, that the discomfort is equal to my resistance to it. So the more I resist it, more uncomfortable I become, right? So sometimes like I have that thought, I'm like, welcome, you can stay here as long as you want. I don't care, kind of like a surrender to it. So I don't know, that could be helpful to someone. But in when I see that it's like a rising and it's trying to hook me and it's painful, I'm like, okay, I must be resisting it. So I need to stop resisting it. And then I'm just like, okay, bring it on. Kind of like that.
Nice. I like that a lot. That's awesome. That is. It's like you're resisting a feeling. That's bringing on the suffering. You want it like that. You want it like that. And always resisting the feeling has brought on the suffering. As you know, and then there's a point where you're aware of it. Oh wow, this is bringing on suffering for me. And then there's a point where you're aware of it and you're willing to use it for a different purpose. You're willing to use that perception for a different purpose. And then there isn't a question of how do I get out of this?
I have those too. I have those too all the time. How do I get out of this? But then I catch myself and I'm like, ooh, you don't want to get out of this. You want it to do its work, right?
I read today that somebody says she gets curious about it.
Nice.
She realizes she's resisting. She's like, what are you here for? What is this about? And she just goes into all around it and being curious about it. I thought that was cool.
Show me what you got.
Yeah.
Show me.
When you're curious too, there's not resistance. You're
Right.
willing to stay with it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the amount of delusional thoughts that you've followed thus far, you could say, it doesn't matter. However underwater it seems to be, none of that stuff even matters.
Okay.
Yes, you told me once, Hope, a long time ago, the booby trap is when you're saying, oh, how did I should know that already? This shouldn't be happening. I'm more advanced than this. How can this come up again? Not the same.
Been there.
Not the same crap.
Yeah, make it all one thing. It goes back to make it all one thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, apparently I have all kinds of notifications coming in. I'm gonna see if I can just like close the app so that it doesn't keep on beeping at me. Yeah, so. If I quit them, I don't know. Maybe if I quit the application, I'm not sure. I tried quitting some of them. Let me see if I could just go options, remove it from the dock. Maybe that'll do something. Oh, I almost canceled our meeting. Wow.
I was gonna say you're gonna lose us all.
That would have been fun.
That would have been fun too. Yay.
I got it. It doesn't take long. I just needed to just hear it again from the perfect reflection of me that's showing up on Tuesday nights.
Well, you know what's fun, Christine, and Irina was talking about it earlier. She really likes wisdom dialogues too. So she plays it in the morning. It's like a spiritual practice. And if it's wisdom dialogues or if it's something else, and whatever it is, it's like giving you the regular, I guess, nourishment. Say regular nourishment, then you're less apt to be hooked by conditioned thoughts, because it's really the whole sense is based on conditioning. So you find yourself being reconditioned, so you start to see these, and it does help you start to see things sooner. If you're used to thinking worldly thoughts, feel yourself getting even the least bit upset, of course, listen, listen, listen. Stay in the, if you can't tap in like that just by yourself all the time, that means it's like more information is good. You can get the nourishment, you can say.
Yeah, and helping me to remember, right? Because when I go into that and I go unconscious,
Yeah.
that part of me doesn't want to remember. And
Yeah.
that's what I haven't been doing. I listen to teachers every day and I have not been listening. So I know that I was in serious resistance.
How fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty easy, and it's not like you have a choice in that or anything. Even when I talk about that, I'm just talking to the consciousness that'll play out exactly. And then those things, they kind of go in and out. It's like you're paying a lot of attention, your devotion is stronger, and then your devotion isn't so strong, and then you have some suffering, and then your devotion becomes stronger again.
Yes.
It's okay.
Mhm.
Just let that play out the way it plays out.
Or you have your husband say, you project your husband to say, don't you have your own mind? You have that in your ear all the time, and you can't do anything without hoping you. Blah, 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 blah.
He's just kidding.
He's just kidding. Yes.
It's perfect.
So obviously, I needed that. That's my reflection.
Well, it's not like that. It's like you're projecting him like that. You're getting a feeling. It's like you're giving yourself a feeling.
It felt awful.
Yeah. So since it feels awful, you don't have to give any meaning to that.
It was guilt.
Yeah, it's just one of those. Do you accept this? Do you accept this as something that's meaningful? You feel the feeling, and then you want to resist it against it instead of getting that feeling.
That's exactly what happened.
How can it go another way? I mean, the other way is a miracle,
Right.
where that feeling comes up, and you are willing to use it for something different.
Okay. Now you say when you're a little bit willing.
Yeah.
You have to be a little bit willing.
Yes.
So okay, so there's a big willing. So I think to want this so bad. So when something like this happens and it doesn't happen, there's more beating up. You must not be willing. You must not be there. Okay, so there it is. There it is. There it is.
There's no problem with it. You just watch the unwillingness play out, and in that it turns into willingness. You say you become willing because you watch the unwillingness play out. You watch what kind of feelings, sensations you're making up for yourself,
Yeah.
and you end up feeling gratitude, and really thanking your husband for saying something like that,
Right.
and really feeling it and really meaning it.
Meaning it right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I heard you.
Letting me know.
What?
Thank you for letting me know.
Thank you for letting me know. Right.
Yeah.
Heard you say on the podcast for the other in person. You said you tell Tony, thank you for playing.
Yeah, thank you for playing.
I love that. Okay. Boy, it's good tonight. Well, it always is, but wow.
We have a really fun panel. It's really fun looking at these four
Yeah, it is.
people on the panel.
I agree.
Anyone who wants to be a panelist, let me know. It's really fun.
Uh-huh.
You just raise your hand. That's it.
Hobie G, I have a question. All right, so forgive the semantics, but look through it and see what there is, but extrapolate what you do, the way you do it. And that is that if there's really nothing to do and there is a wish or a desire for things to go a certain way in relationships, whether it be mother or brother or lover, and you want to kind of shape it, you want to articulate something about like, hey, I really love receiving flowers and they're not happening. And that's my love language. And so can you bring me some flowers? And I'd feel loved. But that's without trying to control it, there are outcomes that I want to achieve. And I know you've said, well, how do you know what the mind wants? How does the mind know what you want? All that jazz. So what is, you want to articulate and shape something or express your wishes or desires, yet it seems futile to do that. Yet, is it just a tendency or a habit to want to shape it or express what you'd like to see? Or do you just sit back and let it unfold? Like you say, just watch what happens. Be curious about what arises and what gets created. But it feels like I'd have to put something in the mix verbally, about.
Like bring me flowers?
Yeah.
Like you have to bring me. Okay, cool. Well, something like that, wanting to control how a relationship goes, that's like a sign, you could say, that you are making the relationship into something that it's not meant to be. You want to try to make the relationship into something that's personally pleasing to your concept of how the relationship would be, and that's really different than regular relating. That's really different. It's like they're not naturally and authentically, joyfully bringing the flowers. Why the fuck do you want them? Like, who does that serve?
There seems to be an attachment to having scenarios such as that, or individuals projected into my reality so that can keep reoccurring and then create crappy feelings. And the crappy feelings, there's a latching on to those rather than a hey, look at that, it's here again. For the opportunity it is to see through, healing that sweet little mind. You see what I'm saying?
It's amazing that you even have a projection of this dude who comes over your house and hangs out, and you hang out with him and stuff like that. It's like a magic trick, like trying to get him to perform in a different way. I found in my relating, that it was just not something that I wanted. It was just kind of like, ooh, I don't want that. That's a feeling like I want you to show. It's so fake to me. It's like I want you to show me something and do something for me. Like, what can you do for me?
And that's what to you? To you?
Ooh,
Ew, I don't want that, is what you said?
ooh, I don't want that feeling. Because it's like it comes along with the wanting them to, do a certain gesture, or wanting them to do a certain gesture. It's not really genuine because they're only doing it because you want them to. So what good is that? Like, why do you want that kind of love? I don't know.
The only one that wants it is
Lori K said kind of Stepfordish.
Yeah? Just said that?
Lori K, she said kind of Stepfordish.
Stepfordish. The only one that would want that is the ego, to prove that she's loved. It's loved.
This is my love language. What the fuck?
There's a whole book written about what.
Love language. This is what you're obligated to do when you love me.
Yes, exactly. Ooh.
You don't really want the flowers, is what I'm saying.
It's not about the flowers. It's about the knowing that the flowers would delight and tickle my little buns off, and that the fact that it's not occurring, it seems to communicate something to me. And that I keep generating that in my experience to have somebody who would not do that.
Yeah. Well, that's something that you're projecting for yourself just so that you can heal that. You can heal that thing. So it's like it's like really purifying and loving to hold him in that space too. As in awe. It seems like he's not. It seems like he's not pleasing me and tickling me and stuff like that. What's going on? It's like kind of curious. It's like, oh, what's going on? What's that feeling? Because you're projecting a feeling. The feeling is also projected by you. You're projecting a feeling there to get really curious about that feeling and let those thoughts about who he is and what he's supposed to do and how he should be making you feel, let those pass. You in your own body's energy field, you vibrate at a different frequency. You start to vibrate at a different frequency. When you start to get worried about stuff like that and you start to make that kind of stuff an issue, your energy field shifts and you vibrate at a different frequency, and it sets up how the relationship is going, like in a not that fun way. Like you could have way more fun than that.
Yeah, so it really is not about the flowers. It wasn't about making it that small. It's
Yeah.
just it's a small representation of what actually is revealing itself in my reality as how I express, how I feel, how I regard this being. What programs are still saying that there's not a worthiness or something of that nature, and so I appreciate being shown that through the lack of flowers.
Right.
You see?
Really, how you love, like this being, it's the same as how you love him. See? So it's like in the forgiveness of it, like that isn't even happening. It's just playful. He's a really good friend. He's a really dear friend, dear beloved friend. And it's like he's also coming to you asking for the forgiveness in your name, though. Because you have to be willing to offer that to him, to receive it for yourself. Like he goes with you, whether or not you find yourself in relationship with him or not. He always goes with you.
In forgiving the illusion, I feel that's the most beautiful gesture to it all.
Because you'll be
because then it can arise, possibilities can arise.
exactly, and you'll be having so much fun, and he'll have so much fun with that.
Yeah.
And then you guys just tickle and please each other with the fun that you're having, and let the manifestations just take care of themselves.
I am drooling, and it has nothing to do with Cheez-Its this time.
That's fun.
Or cauliflower chips.
Energy's moving.
Uh-huh. And Lori K said, "What if you bought him what you'd like him to buy you, or just doing any kind of gesture that will tickle him and make him feel really loved and stuff." The only thing is, watch out for that, because again, you don't have a choice in that. That's something on the surface. If you're using it to get something, you're gonna suffer over it. If you're using it to get some kind of feedback that you want or anything like that, you're gonna set yourself up for suffering with it. So just watch whatever it is, remembering what it's for. Like you want to be the one to use your feelings and not give over the value over to the ego. You want to reclaim the power over using those feelings for your benefit, the benefit of all.
He's not really out there anyway. And
Yeah.
and I noticed that when the thoughts are believed and entertained and indulged or given such life force, attention, then separation and agitation or just uncomfortable feelings or sensations between us arise. And when I'm not entertaining, there isn't an entertainment of any of those things. It's so easy and lovely and joyful and sweet and kind and yummy. And he seems to be a bit of a guru in that way, because he just loves to be in that little sweetness, and it shows me when he's delighted over there that I'm actually not entertaining thoughts. And so he's like a barometer. I'm using him.
That's how to use each other too. I mean, that makes your spirit so happy.
Yeah, man.
Not using each other for conflict, or using each other for making miracles really together. It's really wonderful.
Mahalo nui loa.
Oh, I love you.
Love you too. He bought me these little rainbow cat ears.
My daughter has the exact same one. So
What would possess a man to go buy rainbow cat?
He didn't. I was with him and I said, "Oh my God, I'd love these." He goes, "Allow me."
isn't that so much better than flowers?
How
Yeah,
sweet
fuck
is
the
that?
flowers. What was I thinking?
Wow,
Love you.
that's cool.
Yeah. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, here's my other handsome prince. Meet my other boyfriend.
Oh,
Oh,
Here's
My
mine
other
right here.
boyfriend.
Right there.
And that boyfriend, look at him.
oh.
so you have 3?
I do.
Wow.
So
So
I've been listening to wisdom dialogues.
Oh, I'm so glad.
That's the love vibe.
Yeah.
So mahalo nui loa.
Mahalo nui loa. So does anyone have anything else? We'll
That
see if anything comes to me. We're doing good. We've covered some various territory today.
some good.
Various good, playful territory.
I feel so much lighter.
Yay.
Yay.
That's the point. You could have that all the time. You can just keep on. You can always relax more. Oh, look, it's Leia. Come here, Leia. Leia's here.
Ah, Leia Mariposa.
Yes.
I just ordered your stuff from my mom.
Yay! Oh, look at that.
Uh-huh.
Hi, is that Gail?
Yes.
Magnesium oil.
Yay.
You guys are matching.
Blue pants and orange
Oh, we
shirts.
are. Oh, my
I love it.
Stand up so they can see
Oh.
the whole thing.
Oh, how do you guys see? Oh, you can.
That's so funny, Hope.
I know.
You guys can't see our bottoms, huh?
Are the bottoms matching too?
Bottom match too?
Yes, blue and orange.
What?
I love it.
That's crazy. Wow.
Aw.
I love that shirt, Hope.
Oh, thank you. I got it on Etsy. I gave them my measurement, so they did it to me.
Oh, they did it to you.
Yeah, they did it to me.
Did it to you. Ooh.
Yeah. All right. So, I don't know. Do you have anything, Leah? Have anything you want to talk about in Wisdom Dialogues? I was just gonna wrap up.
Yeah, go ahead and wrap up.
Okay.
Yeah. I missed the whole thing. I'm
Yeah.
I'll have a little wisdom dialogue session with you after we get off.
After we get off. Okay.
So good to see everyone. Yay.
I love you, everyone. Thank you to the peeps on Facebook too. I don't see questions here. Everyone is awesome. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I love you.
Thank you. Love
And
you,
check
ladies.
out-
I
check
hope. Thank you.
Miracle Clinic botanicals.com and hopejohnson.org. Those are the websites you can go to find my awesome, awesome stuff.
Hey,
So-
which is, can I ask a question about what lavender to get?
I really like the, what is it?
Bulgarian, New Zealand. You just brought the New Zealand to me.
New Zealand. Yes, I really like New Zealand. It's a new one for us, and it's got a really sweet, nice flavor. It's also low linalool. That's what's unique about it. Most lavenders have high linalool, so they say don't apply that to your skin like too much.
Look at that.
That
And
one's good too.
there's cashmere too. There's also sets. You can check out sets of lavender.
Yeah, I didn't want that. I don't really like lavender that much, but I like to have it around for certain things
Okay.
because it is too strong for me. So
Oh yeah. Okay. You can dilute it then if you want to.
yeah. So I saw the set. I was on there today, actually.
Hey, working.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Hawaii time. And I'm live in person on Mondays down in Wawa for anyone who wants to join. Okay. I love you. Thank you so much for joining. Mahalo. Aloha.
Oh
And
my
I-
goodness. Hui ho!